Welcome to English Easy Hub. Join us as we ignite the flames of your English learning journey together.
Please subscribe to watch and embark on your English learning journey. Don't miss out on the exciting content. In this insightful dialogue between Simon and his teacher, the focus is on mastering the art of powerful English speaking. Simon expresses his desire to make his speech more impactful and convincing. Throughout the conversation, the teacher guides Simon through essential techniques such as pausing, intonation, clarity, and body language. Each of these elements plays a crucial role in delivering a message that not only captures attention, but also resonates deeply with the audience. The dialogue highlights the importance of confidence, purposeful delivery, and intentional speech as fundamental pillars of powerful communication.
Hi, teacher. Lately, I've been thinking about how I can make my English sound more powerful. I mean, I know the words, but I feel like something's missing when I speak. How can I make my speech more impactful?
That's a fantastic question, Simon. When it comes to powerful speech, it's not just about the words you use, but how you deliver them. Speaking with impact requires mastery over elements like intonation, pacing, pauses, and even body language. Let's start with something fundamental. What's your intention when you speak? What are you trying to achieve?
I guess it depends. Sometimes I want to persuade someone, and other times I just want to be understood clearly. But if I had to pick, I'd say I often want to sound more convincing or authoritative.
That's a great start. Knowing your intention helps shape your entire delivery. If you want to sound convincing, your speech needs to reflect confidence and clarity. When you listen to speakers who command authority, what do you notice about them?
They seem sure of themselves, like they're not in a hurry to get their point across. They pause at the right moments, and somehow, even when they speak slowly, it doesn't feel boring.
Exactly. The pause is an incredibly underused tool in speaking. When used well, it can give weight to your words. Think about it. The silence after a statement often says more than the words themselves. It gives the listener time to reflect and absorb what you've said. Have you ever tried incorporating pauses intentionally?
Honestly, no. I've always thought if I pause too much, I'll lose people's attention. Doesn't silence create awkwardness?
That's a common fear, but silence, when used purposefully, actually creates attention. Think of it like this. A pause can act like punctuation in a sentence. Without it, everything runs together. A well-placed pause is like drawing a line under something important. It tells your listener, pay attention, this matters. Here's a little trick. Pause right before a key word, then say the word slowly and with emphasis. Want to give it a try?
Okay. Let me think of a sentence. How about, we must act now, before it's too late?
Perfect. Now try it two ways. First, say it quickly, as you normally would. Then, say it again, but this time pause right before now and after too late.
We must act now, before it's too late. We must act, now, before it's too late.
Notice the difference?
Wow. It feels completely different. The second time, it felt like the words had weight. The first time was just a sentence.
Exactly. The pause gives space for each idea to land. Now imagine if you combine that with variations in your tone and volume. Let's talk about intonation. Your tone can dramatically affect how your words are received. Have you ever noticed how monotonous speakers lose their audience, even if their content is interesting?
Definitely. If someone speaks in the same tone the whole time, it's hard to stay engaged, no matter what they're talking about.
Right. Intonation is your tool for keeping people engaged. When you raise or lower your voice at key moments, you signal to the listener that something important is happening. Think of it like storytelling. A good story has highs and lows, tension and resolution. Your voice should reflect that same dynamic range. How do you usually vary your tone?
Honestly, I don't think I've thought much about it. I mostly just try not to sound too flat, but I haven't paid much attention to how I can use it more effectively.
Let's change that. Try saying the phrase, "This is critical," 3 different ways. Once with an upward intonation to express excitement, once with a downward intonation for seriousness, and once in a whisper to create intimacy. Ready?
All right. This is critical.
Excellent. Notice how each version conveyed a completely different emotion.
Yeah, that was fascinating. The whisper felt more intense than I thought it would. It kind of pulled me in.
Exactly. Whispering or softening your voice can be just as powerful as raising it. Sometimes less is more. When you lower your voice, you force people to lean in, to focus more closely on what you're saying. The key is learning when to shift your tone, when to be loud, and when to be quiet. When done well, it turns a speech into an emotional journey.
That makes so much sense. I've noticed that in great TED Talks, speakers often vary their tones a lot, but it feels natural, not forced.
You're right. It needs to feel natural, like a conversation, not a performance. Speaking powerfully isn't about putting on an act. It's about being deeply connected to your message. That's where the real power comes from. Speaking of connection, let's talk about body language. Have you thought about how your physical presence affects the impact of your words?
Not really. I mean, I know I should stand up straight and not fidget, but that's about it. How important is body language?
It's crucial. Your body speaks before you even open your mouth. Think about it. If you're slouched, avoiding eye contact, or crossing your arms, your words won't carry the same weight. You want to project confidence and openness. Have you noticed how influential speakers move?
Yeah, they use their hands a lot, but not in a distracting way. It's more like their gestures are emphasizing their points.
Exactly. Your gestures should align with your words. For instance, if you're talking about something growing, your hands should mimic that motion. The key is to avoid random, nervous gestures. Every movement should serve a purpose. Let's try something. Say, "We are on the brink of something huge," and gesture with your hands as if you're presenting something vast in front of you.
We are on the brink of something huge.
Perfect. How did that feel?
Honestly, it felt like my body was helping me tell the story. I wasn't just speaking, I was communicating the idea visually.
That's the essence of great body language. Your movements amplify your message rather than distract from it. Now, imagine combining confident body language, intentional pauses, varied intonation, and simple, clear language. That's when you become truly compelling as a speaker.
That sounds amazing, but it's a lot to balance. How do I practice all of this without feeling overwhelmed?
Start small. Focus on one technique at a time. For a week, work just on pausing. Then, focus on intonation the next week, and so on. The more you practice, the more natural these elements will become. Also, recording yourself is a great way to evaluate your progress. You can hear how you sound and see how you look. Over time, it will all start to flow together. Would you be willing to try that?
Definitely. I like the idea of building up gradually, rather than trying to master everything at once. It feels less intimidating that way.
Exactly. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's about steady, consistent improvement. Remember, every great speaker started where you are now, learning, practicing, refining. With time, You'll find your own style, one that feels authentic to you. And that authenticity will be the most powerful tool of all.
Thanks, teacher. This conversation has been eye-opening. I feel like I have a much clearer idea of what makes speech powerful now. I'm excited to start practicing.
You're very welcome, Simon. Keep experimenting, and don't be afraid to make mistakes along the way. That's how you'll grow. Speaking with power isn't just about technique. It's about connecting deeply with what you're saying and how you want your audience to feel. You've already taken the first steps by being curious and willing to learn. Keep that momentum going.
I will, teacher. This was really helpful. Thank you again.
My pleasure. Keep practicing, and remember, the more you enjoy the process, the more your growth will accelerate. I'm looking forward to seeing how you develop as a speaker.
This dialogue emphasizes the holistic nature of powerful speaking. It's not merely about the words you choose, but how you deliver them, incorporating elements like tone, pauses, and body language to create a dynamic and engaging experience for your audience. The conversation culminates in a valuable takeaway. Powerful communication is a blend of preparation, intentional delivery, and authenticity. The path to becoming a more compelling speaker lies in consistent practice, attention to detail, and a deep connection to the message being delivered. Simon walks away with actionable insights, ready to practice and refine his technique, realizing that becoming a powerful speaker is a journey that requires patience and persistence. Ultimately, this conversation serves as a practical guide for anyone seeking to enhance their speaking presence and connect more effectively with their audience.
Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep the English learning journey alive.